All right, so I'm a big fan of eBay, and every now and then I find something that's just full on add to cart checkout. There is no way that I'm not going to buy this thing. To give you a little bit of background, I have a collection of things I keep in my studio that are basically influential products that mean something to me or mean something to history. So I've got like an original 1989 Game Boy. I've got the first iPhone. I have the same model of Next keyboard that Tim Berners-Lee used in CERN when they were inventing the internet. So I've got some cool things, but this time I bought a 3D printer. Now, around 2011, 2012, this was my dream 3D printer. It was one of the very first ones that you could buy and bring home and put on your desk. Unfortunately, it's really expensive. So eventually I settled on another really awesome printer, a Solid Doodle 2. But I always really loved this one. So that printer is a Makerbot Thingomatic. You probably see me ask it on LinkedIn. I've been searching for one of these forever and trying to find people that had one, and it's kind of difficult to find them. The very first printer that Makerbot made was the Cupcake. That was a really tiny, really short run printer. Then they came out with this Thingomatic that's all wood. It was a really innovative machine, especially for its time. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But it was a great machine. Eventually, that all wood Thingomatic led to the Replicator series, which you saw the Replicator 1, the Replicator 2, the Replicator 2X. All of those were their future printers. So this is what I consider is basically the printer that started Makerbot. So I'm really pumped about it. So let's take a look at some kind of shots of it, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it. All right, so here's my Makerbot Thingomatic. I'm really kind of pumped about this. So I bought this from a guy who was the original owner. He bought it for a makerspace in San Francisco. It was there, and then when the newer replicators came out, they replaced it. So this kind of got put on a shelf and not used very much. So it's actually in really good shape compared to a lot of the other ones that are on the market. I have powered it up. I did a little bit of tuning, and I was able to get parts out of it again. So I'm really excited about that. But the way these were sold was like a kit. So you would get this wood frame, and you'd get this kind of whole package, and you could put the printer together. What was neat about this is there was a lot of room for things like customization. So originally it didn't have these glass panels. This is really good for regulating like chamber temperature and keeping things like, that affect your prints. So somebody put acrylic, the original owner put acrylic here and then hinges and was able to completely kind of enclose it, which is pretty cool. He also took the controls, and you can see here he built in a living hinge into this box, and he created this cool box. So originally the printer would look kind of like that, and then this box now, this laser cut box fits right there. So you have the full ability to now control your printer from that cool kind of area. So that's really cool. This was a really innovative machine for its time, but especially for now. They did things like paste extruders. I mean, we're talking 2011, 12, 13. They did things like paste extruders. You saw the new Creality printer that's out now. That's literally on a belt, so you can create lots of things. They created an automated build platform for this machine. It wasn't available for very long, but it still was the same conveyor belt idea where you can print something and then it would just kind of roll it off the bed into a bucket. Now, one of the really cool things here that I haven't kind of set up yet, but I'm going to, is this box of parts. So essentially, this is the Creality automated build platform. They didn't do too many of them. They weren't for sale for very long. You can see the plate here. This is Makerbot's automated build platform. So I've got this little bucket, it's got the motors, you know, all this is unused. So I'm really excited to do that. But in general, you know, this was the printer that really got everybody into at-home 3D printing. And I really think in a lot of ways it was kind of ahead of its time. So I bought this. I'm obviously not going to use it too much. My goal here is to preserve it for history's sake. So this is going to go. Yeah, you've seen videos of my micro lab. This is going to go in there. It's just going to be a display piece that I have on the wall with, you know, a few other really cool products. But it's a really neat machine, and I really love that I finally was able to find one that was still fully functional, had the automated build platform. I would love to get some of the other accessories like the paste extruder and some of these cool things. You know, cool things that you really don't even see in other printers today, which is pretty interesting. Looking at this printer, I sometimes really wish that, you know, they maybe haven't sold to Stratasys, that they were able to continue to really innovate, because this thing has a lot of really cool ideas. Some of them are executed kind of roughly, but it's a really cool machine. So I'm really pumped to display this guy in my lab and really kind of get some cool inspiration for future projects. So anyway, as always, thanks for taking a look and entertaining my ridiculous eBay purchases.